Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll be making a summarized guide for the assassin. So I'm sorry if I talk a little fast sometimes. I don't want the video to be too long and there's a lot to cover up. This was a requested video, so I hope this helps you out there. Now you can see I've already changed to the assassin right here. So we'll just start with the guide video real quick. Now I've also made a guide video about most of the things I will talk about here. I will leave a link to them in the comment section, something like stats guide video and all those stuffs. I've made videos about that, so I won't talk too much or too long on them. You can check them out and learn more about stats for various classes that will help you more in this game. We're going to talk about stats for the assassin, just showcase a quick one. So I don't have any food or any buff right here. This is my normal stat. You can see this. I do not focus on critical. I'm mainly an ammo penetration player, and you can see I still have a whole lot more critical than any of these other stats. This is because although the assassin says its main stat is multi-strike, it still boosts critical level more than these other stats. Now what you want to increase for the assassin in the advanced section is your earth attack. You do not need elemental defenses, that's a given. Next, you want to increase your magic attack, defenses, that's understandable, and your health is also needed. Now let's talk about the four stats that might confuse you, which is ammo penetration level or AP level, critical level, MS, and CDR. Between the four of these, the first stat you want to increase the most is your CDR. You want to focus on this and get this as high as you can to at least 378,000. Now if you are below level 90s, do not bother with this. Just focus on your ammo penetration and your multi-strike, because you will not be able to obtain this, especially as a free-to-play, until you are at least my level. You can see I am kind of level 178 and I am 2.2 million rating finally before I was able to get 396,000 of this. Now you'll be wondering, why did I say you should increase your CDR? This is because it will help you the most at this point to be able to spam your crystal coffin without the use of the EX Vortex. Vortex reduces the cooldown of your skill. So I'm not going to use Vortex, I just want to put it here. And now I'm going to go into my crystal coffin. Crystal coffin normally has a 20-second plus cooldown, but at this stage, by the time I come out of my crystal coffin, you will see that I have 8 seconds left.
Nice.
And immediately I come out 8 seconds, by the time you go into your shadow form or maybe void state, and then you switch back, your crystal coffin is ready, you can use it again. Or maybe you've spammed your skills, you can use your crystal coffin again, and you can just keep repeating everything over and over and over again and be an annoying spammer. So that is one way that reigns supreme in playing assassin at this stage of the game we are at right now. It's annoying, but it works. Now the next stat you want to increase will be ammo penetration level, because you need to deal damage. Forget about your critical rate and your multi-strike, focus on CDR, ammo penetration. Once you've gotten this to a decent level, then you can focus on your multi-strike and your critical rate, because multi-strike triggers a lot as an assassin. Even if you have low multi-strike, you will notice most of your skill will multi-strike and most of them will critical. Some classes are like this, like the Blade Master triggers critical a lot, the Soul Dancer triggers multi-strike a lot, the Reaper triggers everything just like the Assassin a lot. So you want to have these two stats, your CDR, your ammo penetration level, your multi-strike, and then your critical, in that order. You want to have them up. But if you are below level 90s, focus on your ammo penetration and your multi-strike, then you can get the others up, unless if you are a whale. That being said, we're going to move on to the next thing, which will be the cores. I have explained this in a lot of videos, but I think people still want me to explain them in my guide videos. So for those below the level 100, you want to have earth, 2 earth cores here. It will help you a little. Then you want to have 9 fire and 5 water. Always get your water, because ammo penetration is a very important stat in the game. Without enough ammo penetration, you will not deal enough damage. Now if you are above the level 90s, earth becomes useless for almost every other class. What you want to have is your 9 fire, you want to have your 5 water, and then 2 wind. You can see I only have 2 wind gems and I still have this crazy amount of critical level. That's insane. Now that we've understood that, I'm going to quickly explain another way you can get your CDR quite up, which probably you already know. You want to go to your gear right here, and then you want to go to your Draconics, which we have your Boots Draconic Endless Test. This yellow or orange, this yellow yellow or gold Draconic Endless Test will help you with your CDR, increase CDR by 5%. Now if you want more CDR, you can always use the ally Anjo as your center ally, or you could use Captain Luminous. He gives you CDR passive. There's also Trip Zero. I think Trip Zero gives you CDR as well, and a couple other allies can increase your CDR dramatically or drastically. Now for the other allies, for those below level 90s, you want to have Mingzilu as your center ally. Is very helpful, great ally. You can never go wrong with Mingzilu. The buffs are very crazy at that level, and the passive is also insane at that level. So Mingzilu is very helpful then. But if you're a whale, or if you're strong, or if you're above the level 90s, you also want to have Eri. If you have her, she gives you nice critical damage. Critical damage. If you do not have Eri, you could use College Eri, which I use. I barely change my ally because this damage dealt by 2% for every single of my skill is very useful. Now, if you do not want to use any of these, you could always use Trip Luminous or some of the other Luminous. I'm trying to find one of them here that gives the very useful passive. Now, this is for dodge.
A few inches later,
you could use Trip Luminous or Love Luminous. He is also good. Increase your critical damage. The passive increase your critical percent. So for those that want more critical rate, you could use that. And that's why I do not bother with increasing my critical level, because there's just so many ways to increase your critical level. Speaking about ways to increase your critical level, let's talk about the Dragonblood. For the 6-star Dragonblood, I will always suggest you use something like Lord of the Sky if you are not free to play. This will help you prevent yourself from being stunned or get out of tight spot, especially with the Visionaire's Dimension Wall skill. This is very helpful. This cannot remove the cage of the illusionist, so just keep in mind. Now, if you are a whale or if you're very strong, you feel confident in yourself, you can use Fenrir. The shields this one gives is insanely helpful, especially if you've trained it a lot. Now, for the 5-star dragons, definitely Serpent still very useful. It reduces your opponent's defenses, so more damage. For the other one, you want to use Wingless Owl. If you are focused on critical build, this will help you with your critical damage, and it is still useful. Even if you are using the armor penetration build like I am, this is still kind of useful, but I just like going the certain route. I don't care. This increases my damage even if they're critical or do not critical, so I go with it. That's very helpful in my opinion. Now, moving on from the Dragonblood. Now let's talk about the Cocoon. For the Cocoons, I will suggest a couple of them, so just pay attention to this real quick. For the 4-star Cocoons, you either want to use the 4 pieces of this white one that can silence your opponent if you want to build a more CC style. Either that, or you could use the 4 pieces of the red one to freeze them, or go like me and use 4 pieces of this yellow one, Dragon Arcane, in order to petrify them. You can see right here that it petrifies the target for 4 seconds. So petrification is kind of annoying, and I love it. I just like it. Now for the 6 pieces, I would suggest you either go with 6 pieces of the green set or the green color, that is Divine Judgment. You can see it right here. It increases the damage that you deal to the target by 20% and also gives you 20% armor penetration, because it gives you 10% and takes 10% away from your opponent, while also giving you super armor at this level 10. This is insanely helpful for assassin. Regardless of your group content or single player content, this will help you a lot. So use 6-piece green and either 4-piece yellow or 4-piece red or 4-piece white. That's your choice between either of these. Now let's talk about the talent and deep talent. I think that's what everyone wants to understand. So for PvP, this is what I use: S level Death Area, A level Funeral Bells, B level Crystal Sonata, C level Heroic Sonata. C level is very useful. This is the most important one out of all of these, funny enough, because it helps you cross the rating gap. Without this, it will be very difficult for you to defeat higher rating players, except if they just play poorly. So Heroic Sonata, very useful. You can also use this for dungeons, and funny enough, I use this build for PvE as well as PvP, and even group content like Battlegrounds. I don't change from this build. I use it for everything, but I know there are those who want to have a dedicated build for PvE. So if this isn't working for you, which it will also work for Deity Stairs, but just in case, you can always switch the C level Heroic Sonata to Magic Melody, and then you can switch Crystal Sonata to Dissonance, and finally you have to change the A level talent to Echo of Dawn. So with this, you will be spamming your skills a lot faster. This works more on this first skill, so all of this will be going down faster. If there is an opponent, you're just gonna keep using this a lot and dealing extra damage every time your multi-strike ability triggers. That being said, I think this is not great for PvP, but you can use this for PvE if you want to. Now that I've explained what Heroic Sonata does, the B level Crystal Sonata is mainly for your stun build. You see this right here. Once you use that, it's gonna explode and stun any opponent in there without a super armor for about 2 seconds. And that is just insanely helpful, especially if you use that and then use Minefield and just keep using your stuns. maybe before the stun removes, you use this and put the stun on them with this shadow strike, and then before that stun removes, you have Obsidian's Edge that puts another stun on them. It's basically a stun build playstyle. So moving on to the deep talent, you can use the same right here, but I think you should focus on the center and try and unlock this critical damage increase if you can. If you are above the level 130s, this is what your goal should be as an assassin. Now you can pause the video at any point and just follow what I've done right here. But the reason why I haven't unlocked mine right here is because I found this to be a lot more useful, because the only weak point I have when using the assassin are blade masters, and this helps me a lot against the blade masters. Although I don't think I can still defeat the blade master as an assassin. That's ridiculous, but it still feels helpful. So I think this is the best you should head for. But if you can't get that like myself right now, you just unlock all of this. It will help you in the long run. Now for the EX, you want to use Void. Void is a very useful EX. Do not even bother with Black Hole. This is a lot more helpful than the other ones, because at the higher levels, when you unlock this deep talent, Void Drain, you regain health each time you use your Void skill. So I'm going to show you a quick example about this. So each time in battle, this is going to help you a lot. I lost 40 million health right there, or 4 million health, and I'm regaining 1.1 million about 6 times. And then immediately I come out, I can use this, I regain a couple million more health. Yeah, I can go invisible, and it just helps you. Like, you see my health from way half, it's now a lot more than half. So that is a very useful stuff. That's why Void is a lot more better than Black Hole. But you can surprise your opponent with Black Hole if you want, but I just think Void is better. For the other EXs, first and the best EX is Minefield. If you can get it to level 7, I believe, or is it level 8? It's the best you can use as an assassin. Next is Dustbuster. This is for those who want to focus on their crystal. That's this crystal build, who want to stretch the duel as much as possible and survive or annoy their opponents. They can use Dustbuster. Now for the lower levels, of course, you can always use this one because it will help you with your cooldown, Vortex, but it breaks quite fast, so I don't really enjoy Vortex that much. Now I will suggest for those below level 90s to use Scorch. Scorch is a lot more helpful than the other EXs at that stage. After that, you could always use Holy Judgment. Now to summarize everything, Minefield number 1, Dustbuster number 2, Holy Judgment number 3, Scorch number 4. After this, and when you've unlocked the final breakthrough of Ray of Fire, you can always use it, but it's not as great as the other ones. Every other one is elementary. Same with Majesty. You can use them if you want. It's just your choice. Now let's move on to the gear. For the gear, or sets in this case, you want to have 4 pieces of red and 6 pieces yellow. 4 pieces red will help you survive because of the invulnerability and the ability it has to reset the cooldown of this your crystal skill when your health gets to 15%. It is insanely helpful, and it will help you survive a lot longer. Now for the 6-piece set, why did I say you should use the yellow? The yellow helps you with the freezing, it increases your hit rate, and it also gives you critical. So this helps and covers up for your multi-strike and your lack of critical if you follow the build I suggested. Now for 7 scenes, you also want to use Filth. Filth is the best 7 scene you can have as an assassin, but it is closely followed by Wrath. Wrath is insanely powerful as an assassin because you can negate the HP loss you will suffer, and the damage you will deal will just be way too crazy. Now what you want to do with Filth is you want to first of all put Filth and then quickly switch to this one, so you can put a mark on your opponent, or put the mark and then use Filth. Whichever one you want, it's gonna make your opponent unaware that they are bleeding, because everybody runs away from assassin once they switch this mode. Maybe except the Blade Masters. Blade Masters don't care. And I think that is all. That is everything about the assassin you need to understand. There are some other tricks and tip videos I have made for the assassin to understand how to play them, and I have also made a lot of arena videos for this class and using this class in arena on facing against them. I've also made a lot of videos about how to use the assassin versus the Reaper and the Reaper versus the assassin. You can check all of those out in the description of this video, or just search for them online. You will definitely see one of my videos there. That's how many videos I have made about this class and in this game. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or requests, please drop them down there in the comment section. I read all of them. I'll respond to you if needed, or make a video if necessary. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys.